Shai. I'm good. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Oh,
I have this.
I don't know where they were. Let me take it.
That was a different one?
I just want to make sure we're on the same page,
Oh, okay.
literally.
All right. Thank you.
Otherwise, I worry that like I maybe made some change or correction.
Oh, okay.
I don't wanna leave us standing. Yes. Where's my tallit? You follow. Friends, please join us in the chapel now. Join us for Kabbalat Shabbat. Join us now in the chapel, if you please. Join us in the chapel now. Lie, la, la, lie, 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 la, lie, la, la, lie, la, la, lie, 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 la, la, lie, la, la, lie, 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 la, lie, la, la, lie, la, la, lie, lie, lie. Friends, please take your seats and join us in the chapel.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Come on in. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see everybody here. So I'm standing here with Leah and her family, and Leah is celebrating her bat mitzvah this weekend. Tomorrow morning, she'll read from the Torah, she'll lead the congregation in prayer, and Leah's awesome. She's such a joy to work with, and I'm excited to celebrate with her. And in addition to her bat mitzvah, we also have another simcha for Leah, and that is that tonight she's going to get her Hebrew name officially. When Leah was a baby, she didn't have a naming ceremony, so now we're going to do it because tomorrow she'll need to be called to the Torah by her Hebrew name, right, Leah? So she has the advantage that babies don't have, which is she got to choose her own Hebrew name. Yeah. So we'll ask God's blessing. O God, source of all life, we thank you for the countless blessings you have given us. Grateful for your gift of life, Leah and her family have come into your sanctuary to thank you and to ask your guidance in the path of life ahead. Grant to Leah wisdom, patience, and devotion, that she may live in accordance with your Torah. In this synagogue and in the presence of this holy congregation, we give to this young lady her Hebrew name, Leah Shira bat Altachaim ve'Evelyn. May it become a name honored in the household of Israel. Mishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu, Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et hayalda hazot. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, bless Leah with life and health. May she be a joy to her family and her community. May she live to bring honor to the house of Israel, blessings to humanity, and glory to the name of God. And we say together, Amen. Amen. I wonder, Cantor, could we sing a Shehechianu for Leah?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh.
All right, Leah, will you lead us in the blessing over the candles now?
Baruchu et Adonai.
Hold on, let's wait. Let's get to the right page. Sorry. Where is it? Oh, I think we're in the book. Okay, so it's okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner
shel Shabbat.
All right. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you. Let's begin our journey through the Psalms with Lechu Neranena on page 12. Lechu Neranena, lai 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 lai, la Adonai, lai 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 la la lai, Nahariah. Lai 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 lai, letzor yishenu. Lai 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 lai, let us sing out to God, the Maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear a song. Lechu neranena, lai 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 lai, na Adonai, lai 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 lai, Nahariah, lai 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 lai, letzo yishenu, lai 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 lai.
Page 13, Psalm 96.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, unto God a new song. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
Page 7. Where is this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Together, help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Page 14.
Adonai malakta gel haaretz yismechu yim rabim. Anan v'rafra sevivat tzedek u'mishpat michon kiso. O haveronai sinura shomer navashor chasida miyad reshaim yatzilem or zarua la tzadik simcho tzadikim b'Adonai lehodu lezecher kodesho or zarua latzadik uyishrei lev simcha.
Page 16. Sing praise to Adonai.
Zamru l'Adonai bechinor v'kol zimra b'chatzatzrot v'kol shofar ariu lifnei hamelech Adonai yiram hayamum lo tevel ve'yoshveiva neharot imcha uchav yachad harim yiranenu lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel betzedek ve'yamim b'mei shaharim Yehiram hayamum lo tevel ve'yoshveiva neharot yimcha uchav yachad harim yiranenu.
Page 18. Psalm 29.
Mizmor leDavid, avu l'Adonai b'ne'elim, avu l'Adonai kavod v'aoz, avu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadra kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod yirim Adonai al mayim rabim kol Adonai b'koach haylai kol Adonai behadar kol Adonai shover arazim v'yishaber Adonai et azeh alvanon v'yarkidem kemo egel Levanon v'Sirion kemo vein revim ay Adonai lamabul yashav v'yeshev Adonai melech leolam Adonai oz le'amo yiten Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom tirirai lai 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 tirirai lai 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 tirirai lai 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 tirirai lai 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 tirirai lai 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 tirirai
responsively. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. On page 20, L'Chadodi.
La 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 Lecha dodi לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד ישמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
If you would like to rise to greet the Shabbat bride, I invite you to do so now.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Page 22, a song for Shabbat. It's good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שמחתני אדוני בפעלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד ממקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. צדיק אתה מרי יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי אשר אדוני צורי, ולא עוולת בו.
On page 29 at the bottom. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. Back on page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchoni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitechem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
moment you have all been waiting for. Please close your books. I feel obliged as I begin to issue a trigger warning that my sermon tonight is about politics, although not in the way that you might think. From the time my parents took us to Washington, D.C. when I was about 14 or 15 years old, I knew that I wanted to go into politics. There was a certain mystique to it all. The majestic marble buildings, the people on their way to work on the subway in their crisp suits, reading the Washington Post, the big black SUVs with tinted windows and big serious-looking guys with tinted glasses and earpieces, created for me a sense of sublimity and awe. A guy that I worked with once on Capitol Hill said, "If you ever look up at the Capitol building and it doesn't give you goosebumps, you know it's time to go back home." Well, eventually I made it there for real. I got to live and work every day in a place that, to me, felt otherworldly. It seemed so far and above and detached from ordinary places, and yet, at the same time, it felt like the center of the universe. This is what they call inside the Beltway syndrome, by the way. It is a documented pathology. But at some point along the way, I got a reality check. Nothing big or traumatic or remarkable, really, just a casual conversation I remember having with a coworker one day. We'd been there about a year at that point, and I remember asking him, "So what do you think about the Senate so far?" And I'll never forget his answer. He said, just a bunch of idiots with nice suits and fancy titles. He was not wrong. Whether he realized it or not, though, he had made a simple and yet deeply profound observation about politics. That despite the pageantry and the power and the mystique, these larger-than-life figures who seem to rule the world are, when it comes right down to it, just people, human beings. And like all human beings, they are inherently flawed. And like any process or institution designed and run by human beings, the process and institutions of politics are inherently flawed, corruptible, and in fact, corrupted. The performative magic of politics and government, to borrow a phrase from the anthropologist Pierre Bourdieu, has a way of making Washington seem mystical, even sacred. But no amount of magic can make gods out of ordinary people. You might think that what I'm saying is obvious. Of course we know politicians are not gods, far from it. But I disagree. We might know it intellectually, but we don't know it spiritually. In fact, I believe that we in America have made politics into our national religion. And I don't mean that in the trivial sense, like someone might say, football is my religion. I mean it in the substantive sense of the term. And I mean it in a way that is dark and disturbing. Politics, to my mind, has become one of the gravest forms of idolatry in the modern world. More on that in a moment. First, a quick look at the parashah. Parashat Ki-Tisa tells what I consider to be perhaps the most profound story in the whole Torah, and that is the story of the golden calf. Here's how the Torah describes it. When the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered against Aaron and said to him, Come, make us a god who shall go before us. For that man Moses, the man who brought us from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has happened to him." Aaron said to them, "Take off the gold rings that are on the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." And all the people took off the gold rings that were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. He took the gold from them and fashioned it with a graving tool and made it into a molten calf. And they exclaimed, "This is your God, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Egypt." It's an obviously ridiculous statement. Who in their right mind would believe that this golden calf, which they know Aaron made because, well, they gave him the materials to make it, is the God? Who would believe that this is the God who brought you out of the land of Egypt? It defies common sense. Just a few chapters back, these same Israelites had seen God split the sea to save them from Pharaoh's pursuing army. They sang Micha Mocha, proclaiming God as the author of miracles and salvation. How could they now worship an idol made of their own jewelry? The answer suggested by our tradition is fear. Feeling abandoned by Moses and God, who for all they knew had run off together and left the people to fend for themselves, they were disoriented. They had no idea where they were or where they were going or whom to look to for guidance and support. The God who had brought them out of Egypt and split the sea was abstract. Not only had none of them actually seen this God, but apparently this God existed somewhere out there beyond their reach and, importantly, beyond their control. What they needed now was not some invisible, inaccessible deity. They needed something that would enable them to take control of their situation. So, like the man who captures an all-powerful genie in a bottle, Aaron said he could capture the infinite God who transcends the world and contain that God in a work of his own hands. Now, instead of the people being subject to the power of a God they could not see, this new, visible, worldly, material God would be subject to their control. Using tools and the metal forge, they could quite literally mold and manipulate this God to their own ends. Ultimately, wrote the 20th century American Jewish philosopher Will Herberg, all idolatry is worship of the self, projected and objectified. All idolization is self-idolization, individual or collective. The worship of the golden calf, the work of human hands, was nothing more than the worship of the human self, writ large. A worship rooted in fear and the need for control. That is the essence of idolatry. So, back to politics. I believe that over time, politics in America has come to be driven by fear. Some would say, for good reason. There's a lot to be afraid of. And the people in power have a lot of influence over those things. But that fear, in my view, has become so strong that it has led us to what the philosophers Moshe Halbertal and Avishai Margalit call the, quote, error of idolatry. And that error is the mistaken placement of ultimate faith and power in something that is not God. Something that, in this case, is merely human. Out of the mistaken belief that this something can bring the salvation we yearn for. This fear of evil befalling us has thus driven us into what the 19th century Bible commentator Malbim describes as the Mikdash Hevel, the sanctuary of vanity. In that hall of mirrors, flawed human beings and their corruptible and corrupt institutions are capable of saving the world. But it's a promise that is destined to fail. We know this from experience and history. As the psalm says, "Put not your trust in princes." It's common these days to describe our political parties as tribes because our loyalty to them is so visceral. But I think they might better be described as churches who cast themselves as the sole possessors of truth, with doctrines of belief to which members must profess loyalty or be excommunicated. And think about how we accord our politicians, though flawed human beings they are, the status of gods, who, if they are part of our church, can do no wrong, and if they are part of the other church, can do no right. Slogans like, "We are the ones we've been waiting for," and "Make America Great Again" are undeniably messianic and quasi-religious. They suggest that human beings, the avatars of a political movement and their followers, can bring about the redemption of history. No biblical prophet ever claimed as much. But this spiritual outlook on the world is alluring, as idolatry always is, because it offers meaning and purpose and control over our own destiny by promising that we human beings are the ultimate power in the universe. By our vote, by our lobbying, by our proclamations and fulminations, we can mold the gods toward our own ends. I do not mean to say that the political process is not important. It is important, and we should participate in it. We should vote, and we should advocate for what we believe in. The problem is not caring about the process. The problem, as Herberg suggests, is absolutizing the process, by which he means making it the end-all, be-all, and the dominant force in one's life, or in the collective life of the society. Tragically, though, I think this is exactly what we have done. Over time, the sphere of politics has swollen to immense proportions and annexed nearly every part of life. What is there anymore that is beyond its reach? Friendship? Thanksgiving dinner? The workplace? The school? The library? None of these. Everything, it seems, has been subsumed into politics. Every person and every experience is viewed through a political lens. Even religion, which theoretically should be sealed off from the realm of politics, has come under its auspices, as some of us look to our faith traditions only to validate our own political preferences. As Herberg put it, we make God into the sanctifier and protector of the idols we really love with all our heart and all our might. In proclaiming as ultimate the ideas and programs to which we are devoted, we are but proclaiming the work of our minds to be the final truth of life. This absolutization of politics is exceedingly dangerous because if politics is in fact the key to our salvation, And if the political church with which we identify as the sole possessor of truth, then it begs a question. What would be considered too far to go in securing the ability of that church and its prophets to implement their agenda and vision? The answer, I think, is nothing. Nothing would be seen as too far to go if that's what right and truth demands. Which is why I believe that the idolatry of politics will ultimately lead to totalitarianism in America, whether of the right or of the left. I really hope not, but I worry that's where we're headed. In that vein, I want to close with something that Will Herberg wrote back in 1952. The object of idolatrous worship may be, and in fact generally is, something that is good, such as, I would add, politics. But since it is not God, he said, it is necessarily a good that is only partial and relative. What idolatry does is to convert the object into an absolute, thereby destroying the partial good within it and transforming it into a total evil. I pray that we will turn back from this dangerous path. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue in our liturgy on page 26, Chatzi Kaddish. Amen. בחייכון וביומכון ובחייתכו בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב אמן. Damiran be'alma. Amen. Page 28. Please rise if you're able. Page 30, together in English. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, a ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המארי והרבים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אתה. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם.
Please be seated. Page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Lai la la lai 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 la lai la la lai la la lai 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 ya la lai la la lai 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 la lai ya la lai la la lai 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 lai. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it's eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, and the way to that winding promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together, singing lie, la la lie, 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 la lie, la la lie, la la lie, 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 ya la lie, la la lie, 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 la lie, ya la lie, la la lie, lie, lie. Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Yisrael lecha anu shira besimcha rabba v'yameru chulam mi kamocha Ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh nora tehilot Nora tehilot osefele malchutecha ra'uvanecha pokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam ze'eli anu ve'yamru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed yai lai lai la la lai 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 la lai ya la lai la la lai 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 ya la lai la la lai yai lai la lai ya la lai la lai joining hands and marching together. V'nehemar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov ugoalo miyad chazak mimenu baruch ata Adonai kal Yisrael.
Page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amidenu shomreinu lechayim hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amidenu shomreinu lechayim ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha at the bottom of the page baruch atah Adonai Aporei sukat shalom ve'amidenu shomreinu ve'aporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Page 46. Please rise.
Adonai sevatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. El Agadol, Agibor ve'Anora, El Elyon, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 50. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. 52. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We take a few moments for private meditations of the heart, using the language provided on the pages or within us, standing or sitting as is your custom. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים tasim leolam, tasim leolam. V'tov ben Baruch ata Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
We turn our thoughts now toward those members of our families and our community who are in need of God's healing and peace and strength. If you're praying for someone and you'd like to share their name, I invite you to do so now.
Ricky Ament, Barbara Greenfield.
May God be with all of them and bring them a speedy renewal of body and spirit. Page 253.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu, mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Page 282. Please rise if you're able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We remember and now our loved ones and family members and friends who have gone from this world. If you are comfortable and able to do so, I invite you to rise as you hear the name of your loved one read. On this Shabbat, we are in Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning for Burton Aronson and Helen Billy Greenfield Straub. We are in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Robert Cleary and David Rudolph. We recall the yahrzeits of Gertrude Bloom, Kenneth Brown, Eva Greenbaum, Rose Kaffenbaum, Stuart Larrick, Ruth Pravder, Etta Schwartz, Jack Steinberg, Morris Zale, Saul Marcus, Bernard Wolf, and Adelaide Goldstein. If you're remembering someone whose name was not read and you'd like to share it with us, I invite you to do so now. you, Sybil. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. We'll join together now on page 294 to say Kaddish. If it's your custom to rise, I invite you to do so. You may also choose to remain seated. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Amen.
May the one who makes harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. May their memories be for a blessing, and we say together,
Amen.
Please be seated. All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I want to say thank you to Cantor Adam and to Shai for the inspiring and energetic music this evening. As always, really wonderful music. And I want to point out that hopefully when you came in, you received this flyer. So this is a schedule of upcoming special Shabbatot that we have. Cantor Adam has been working hard to put these together with different musical styles and guests. There will also be some experimentation with spatial arrangements and other traditions and rituals, modern and familiar. Innovative and familiar. And we want to invite you to come to all of these. And you'll notice that after several of them, there is going to be a congregational conversation about the prayer that we just experienced. So this is, you saw the email today, hopefully, that came out as well. This is part of an effort on our part to affirm the fact that in a congregation such as ours, there's no one right way to pray, no one way of prayer works for everybody. So we want to try to create a variety of experiences that speak to the diverse spiritual needs of the community. Your feedback on these services will help us to do that. So I invite you and encourage you to come and participate in that. Next weekend, we have a special Scholar in Residence weekend. Rabbi Seth Limmer will be here. He grew up at Temple Beth-El. He's the son of Steve and Shelley Limmer, and an accomplished rabbi and scholar, of course, in his own right. And he's going to be here to help lead services and give a guest sermon on Friday night, teach Torah study on Shabbat morning as well. And I hope that you'll be here to welcome Rabbi Limmer back to his home community and learn with him. And I'd like to say thank yous also to, I want to say thank you to Rochelle and Arlene, who were ushering this evening, and Elaine. Thank you. All right, Elaine, Rochelle, and Arlene. I saw work in the ushering, greeting everybody with a friendly smile. Thank you to the Margaloff family for baking the challah, and thank you to our wonderful Oneg bakers under the shepherding of the illustrious Joy P. So let's say thank you to our bakers, Linda Diamond, Ellen Safian, Roberta Lulov, Gloria Landsberg, the Laufer family, who will be celebrating Leah's bat mitzvah and Mazel Tov Leah. And if you haven't baked yet and you would like to bake, please talk to Joy P. and let her know. She'll get you set up. Is there anything, Cantor, that you want to add before we close?
Not that I can think of.
All right. So let's
Torah
see.
study tomorrow.
Yeah, Torah study tomorrow.
Minyan, 10:30.
Yes, service 10:30, celebrating the bat mitzvah of Leah, also known as Leah Shira, now having
Leah
received
of
her
song.
new Hebrew name. So let's see. I'd like to invite the Laufer family to come on back up and help us to lead Kiddush and Motzi, and I'll invite you all to please rise.
ויכולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויכול אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי היבו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-shabbat lechaim. Take a sip, Leah.
You want to lead us in the Motzi? Together?
Sure.
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.